done with the full knowledge of Keefe. Do they have it right?
It was only two people in the car. And PAC not finna tell the story. I ain't finna tell the story, but
And for that girl backstage, make it publicly clear. Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right, boys.
And whether he would cooperate in the trial. Tell me what your reaction is to the arrest of Keefe D.
well, surprise number one, because I didn't think Keefe did never get arrested. Nor do I want to see him get arrested. You know, let's get one thing straight, first and foremost. You know, me and Keefe D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement in anything, who want to see? I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
The DA says that Keefe D was in the car with his nephew, and that presumably his nephew, according to the DA, is the one that shot Tupac, and that it was done with the full knowledge of Keefe. Do they have it right?
It was only two people in the car. And PAC not finna tell the story. I ain't finna tell the story, but I tell you this. And I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because, number one, he wasn't the shooter. Number two, he came to my hearing and told to let me go and told the truth. They still didn't let me go.
If you are called to testify in this case,
I wouldn't be.
why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Well, number one, because I'm not going to get on the stand and testify on somebody for what?
They seem to be saying that Orlando was the shooter and Keefe was in on it, that he had full knowledge of what was going down, and it was revenge for Orlando getting beaten up by Tupac and his team at the MGM after the Tyson fight. Is that correct?
No.
Then who shot Tupac?
It wasn't Anderson, so that's all I got to say about that part.
To summarize, you are saying Orlando was not the shooter.
Free Keefe D.
You know what's really interesting is that he is pulling back from Keefe D's own statements.
Right.
Which is
But I will
bizarre.
say, so Suge is saying it wasn't Orlando Anderson, which is something that has been widely believed on the streets and alleged in interviews. Keefe D himself has said it, that Orlando is the person who pulled the trigger, and Orlando Anderson died a couple of years after Tupac did in a separate shooting.
I think everybody else in that car, there were 4 people in that car, and everybody's dead except Keefe.
Right.
And so now Keefe has said he was involved. Suge is intimating, at the very least, that he's not involved the way the DA thinks he was involved.
So the fact that Suge is saying, he's saying it's not Orlando Anderson.
Right.
I hear that. But he's not gonna say who it is, which to me makes me feel like him saying it's not Orlando Anderson doesn't really carry as much weight either, because the reality is Suge is never gonna snitch on anybody.
He's never gonna snitch, and he's never gonna testify. And that was clear.
Him not testifying, I would think that the DA in Las Vegas is not counting on Suge to be a material witness.
I think they're counting more on Keefe's own word.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching. Make sure you bang that subscribe button. This is One Buck Podcast. Right.
But there's people that will sit in that room, and like give off bitch ass attitudes, like real bitch like attitudes. Like, and I wonder sometimes, like, yo, what happened to all the men, yo? What happened to all the men? Like, what?
If you mad about me doing something, or are you mad because I'm doing something? Is a difference. Are you mad because of me doing something to you? Are you mad at?
I say, bro, I don't want to feel like, first of all, I ain't got nothing against Lil Turk.